Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Aubree.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Thank you for
Oh,
having me.
absolutely. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Rochelle Fosu, and we are celebrating National Mentorship Month this year. I have the pleasure of having Aubree Dumas here with me, who is a content creator and a graduate. And now it's a little weird because Aubrey's actually going to be interviewing me, and I have not seen the questions, so pray for me, y'all. Um, Aubrey, open to you.
All right. So the first question I have is what's one experience that you think built you into the woman that you are
Oh my.
now?
Oh, many. I think the most recent, that's probably been the most impactful, was caring for Dom when he got ill. And that really changed me. I think it made me a lot more compassionate, a lot more empathetic, a lot more in touch with my emotions, and a lot more understanding of the plight of other people who are having to deal with illness and supporting loved ones at very difficult times. And I think after that, that kind of changed me a lot in terms of priorities and what's most important and what's not as important.
Nice. So what's one piece of advice you would go back and give yourself back then?
Oh, that's a good one. Wow. Hmm. I would say live more. And by that I mean, you always think about all the things you want to achieve, right? And so there's a lot of things you sometimes defer because of that. Um, so, I would have traveled even more. I've traveled quite a bit, but I would have traveled even more. I would have probably gone and done my master's earlier. I would have probably started other businesses sooner. I think you kind of have a sense sometimes that things are supposed to go in a certain order, and you following that order based on uh, what you think the end goal is going to be. But if I had to do it all over again, I would have gone and started some businesses sooner. I would have probably taken bigger risks where that's concerned sooner, and traveled more, and yeah, all that kind of fun stuff.
Nice. My next question is, did you have a mentor during that time?
So for me, it was a real struggle. I really didn't. Um, I was in corporate for 23 years, and I had kind of transient mentors along the way. So, look, one person here, one person there for
Mm-hmm.
short periods of time.
Mm.
But I didn't have a sustained mentorship relationship because I worked in financial services and technology and financial services, which combining those two, it's a really small group of people at the level where I was.
Mm.
And there really just were no women.
Mm.
There certainly were no African American women or men for the most part. And so, because I had that unique challenge, I did have mentors who were Caucasian who helped me a part of the way professionally, but the entire experience, I didn't really have a lot of people mentor me until really probably 2 years ago
Oh,
is
wow.
when, maybe, no, maybe 3 years ago is when I probably got my first real mentor who was kind of doing total mentoring, of personal, professional, spiritual, and the combination of all those things. So unfortunately, I did have help along the way from a lot of different people,
Mm-hmm.
but that total mentorship, yeah, it was quite late in coming. So
Okay. That's good to know. So, do you think you learned anything from any of those mentors, or more so from this current mentor you have?
absolutely. My most recent mentor, second most recent mentor who actually passed away last year, I learned a lot from him. He used to carry this card around, and on that card was all of his values.
Mhm.
So it was very interesting when he showed it to me. We're actually in the library and he pulled it out and he literally carried it around with him in his wallet. And he showed me kind of, there were about 5 or 6 circles, and the middle circle was God. And then outside of that was family. And then outside of that was, being impactful on earth. And then, corporate and other things. And then he kind of demonstrated to me how that really drove his decision making. And he would always refer back to that when he had difficult decisions to make. Um, and he just mentored me from a different perspective. It was more of looking at time. One of the things he told me that was really important was looking at time and the preciousness of time and
Mhm.
making sure to use it wisely.
Yeah.
And that's really stuck with me. So the mentorship was, he definitely was a corporate mentor. In fact, he helped me get into my last role, but he was a lot more than that. And I'm very thankful for that. Thank you, Mike Hopkins,
Mhm.
wherever you are in
Um,
heaven, I'm sure.
mhm. Um, so was there a time that you felt like you failed, and how did you overcome?
Oh, yeah. There were many times when I let my emotion get the best of me
Mhm.
when it came to decisions in corporate America, and feeling like I knew what was the right thing to do, but that I couldn't convince people.
Mhm.
And that frustrated me. And when it frustrated me, the way I reacted to them didn't help my case.
Mhm.
So that was a huge learning moment for me because I had to learn how to separate my personal feelings from the fact that I was dealing with a difficult person. And I needed to figure out how to manage that difficult person into getting the result I wanted,
Okay.
which is really hard to do, especially if you don't have anybody teaching you how to do
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
So you kind of just get emotional, like, I know this is right.
Mhm.
Is it because I'm a young woman that they're not listening? This really is the right path to go. And then you start to get frustrated and emotional and you start to personalize it. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, if you know that's the right goal, then you've got to figure out how to get them to come around to believe it's their idea.
Yeah.
And that's a unique skill that you learn over time. And I hit quite a few bumps earlier on because I didn't know that I needed
Mhm.
to do that.
Yeah.
But as you grow and you learn that. I wish I had a mentor who had told me that sooner because it would have helped me not hit some of those bumps.
Mhm.
But learning to really separate the personal emotions from the end goal being the right goal and figuring how to get people on your side to get to that end goal was critical learning for me.
Nice. I think that's so important to learn, keep learning from your mistakes. Um,
Absolutely.
what is one piece of advice that you would give a young woman that maybe is in the same shoes as you once were?
Ooh, I would say embrace the fact that you're different. I think a lot of times we try to become what people want us to be.
Hmm.
And as a result of that, we lose what it is that's kind of our persuading factor. It's the best way I can put it. So, if me being a fun loving, gregarious person who's, smiley all the time is a part of who I am, well, that's a part of the charm that I would bring to a situation that would allow me to break down barriers with people so
Hmm.
that they're able to listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, if I go in there saying, well, I've got to be the stoic person because that's what people expect of me,
Hmm.
a lot of people, when you're more seasoned, kind of see through that
Yeah.
and they think there's something fake. They don't quite know what it is. They might not be able to put their finger on it, but they
Hmm.
can feel that there's a wall there. And
Yeah.
when they feel there's a wall there, then they don't engage because they don't know why the wall is there, but they feel it there. And
Hmm.
so I think embracing being who you are and allowing that to come through when you're interacting with people and allowing that to be an asset of yours is a lot more authentic, and people can read authentic and people can read inauthentic, right? Or if that's
Yeah.
so being careful about that.
Yeah, love that. That's my favorite advice I probably gave.
Oh, cool.
So those are my questions, but I guess my last question would be also for anyone, any mentors that are mentees that are watching, what is the best way for someone who's interested in mentorship with you, or maybe someone else they might think of? What is the best way you think they can like keep in contact with that person or even reach out?
Right. Well, for me to reach me, you go to my website, rochellefosu.com. I'm sure we'll have it here somewhere. And email us, contact us, and if I have some availability, I'll talk to you. The other way is to kind of figure out who it is that you want to emulate, right? So look around you and say in your local area, your local community, and say, hey, I kind of like how this person moves, right? Or I like what they're doing, or they really connect with me. And so reach out to the person. Oftentimes, people are happy to say yes to that if you tell them that. Say, listen, I feel like I have a lot to learn from you. I would love to connect with you and learn. They're usually open to that.
Yeah.
But if you never ask, you won't know. So an important point is to make sure to do that. And if they say no, you find somebody else. But it's worth giving it a shot. And a lot of people you'll find, that was a piece of advice that was given to me. You'll find a lot of people are really willing and want to help, but they're never asked. Because the people who are looking for mentors are afraid to ask because they see them as this bigger than life person. But they put on their pants just like everybody else. So
those are all my questions, but thank you so much.
Awesome. So I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
One is, you're going to be shocked by this. When you first met me, what did you think of me?
Wow.
I
First, I
know.
thought you were very humble. Because when I first met you, I didn't know all your accomplishments. I just thought you were just a cool girl. You had a lot going on. But when I really found out everything that you do, your whole story, I was like, wow, I did not expect that at all. So I thought definitely you were just a very humble person, very down to earth for all that you've done and been through. So nice.
Thank you. That's great to hear. I love that. Thank you. You just made my day. The second and last question is, if you had to choose one thing that you felt like you've learned from me, what would that be?
Yes. I would say just go for it. I think when I was working with you, there was like so many projects, but you just went for each and every one, and you just didn't give up. If we made a mistake, kept going, tried again, and that's what I loved. That's what I learned, definitely.
Good. Oh, wow. I am thrilled. That's great to hear. That's what I was hoping you'd say. Just go get it.
Yeah.
You'll fall, you get back up, but you'll keep going again.
Exactly.
Well, good luck to you. I can't wait to see all the amazing things you're going to keep doing. And I'm watching from afar, so if you need help, you know where I am. Thanks, Aubree. Bye-bye. Nice seeing you.